my name is Akirieris. You know, I've learned a lot from anime. There's been a lot of adventure to be explored, morals to uphold to, and philosophies to be considered from a lot of different animes. And as much as anime has been such a big influence to its fans, there are other shows out there that have done the same thing but weren't necessarily anime, and yet have been accepted in the anime community. Shows that remind us of that same feeling and inspiration we get from watching real anime. Today, I'm going to be listing animes that weren't animes. Number 1, Code Lyoko. Code Lyoko was a French animated series about 5 teenagers who traveled to the virtual world of Lyoko almost daily to train and fight an evil artificial intelligence named Xana. This series also has its own little segments of romance between the characters and a side goal to make the virtual being in Lyoko named Aelita to become a real person. The series presents itself in both 2D and 3D animation, and do I have memories of this show. Sorry about that. The original title was called Garage Kids, with the story slightly similar, but instead was about boarding school kids who found out about the world called Xanadu. It eventually evolved into Code Lyoko and ran on Cartoon Network and Toonami from 2003 to 2007, with the remaining 7 episodes that were later released online. A series of 4 chapter books then came out to go deeper into the unanswered questions after the series ended. The director was highly influenced by anime and eventually left Code Lyoko to work on the anime Oban Star Racers. Number 2, Samurai Jack. Okay, look guys, if you watched a decent amount of Cartoon Network and Toonami, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have watched this show. If not, where were you? Seriously. The story tells of a samurai who challenges the evil that is Aku. But before he could kill him, Aku sends him into the future, giving Jack the quest to find his way back home. And essentially gave this entire show an excuse to have pretty much one of the most memorable and epic monologues of all time. The series brings the audience on his adventure through tough situations and letting us figure out the differences between what is right and what is easy. The show, was inspired by an anime called The Little Prince and the Eight-Headed Dragon. After the final episode, the creator said that he was going to finish the story with a premiere film that was scheduled for 2002. Unfortunately, I guess what he said was that he was offended by the Powerpuff Girls movie so much that it made him want to set the movie back. In 2015, the story does carry out on the comics, but seriously, who the hell's been keeping up with it? A lot of people did question whether or not it was an anime. I mean, for God's sake, there's anime stream websites that even count Samurai Jack in their lists. It's quite clear Samurai Jack has been adopted into the anime community for some weird controversial reason, and I think the series is questioned a lot because Samurai Jack expresses such a different art style and feel from the other TV shows that were on Cartoon Network at the time. Number 3, Puffy AmiYumi. Oh man, does this show bring me back. Okay, so to explain this in my words, if Panty and Stocking went to sex addict rehab for maybe a year, you'd probably get Puffy AmiYumi. The American show is a slice-of-life series based off of 2 real Japanese musical artists. The animation is really similar to Panty and Stocking, but no, Gainax had nothing to do with the show. You may or may not have watched Puffy AmiYumi, but I know we love him for this song. In 2011, Ami and Yumi then performed the opening theme to the anime Usagi Drop. Number 4, Totally Spies. Ugh, I'm just killing us all with this nostalgia shit. Totally Spies is a French and Canadian TV show that was admittedly influenced by 4 main things: Charlie's Angels, The Avengers, James Bond, and anime. And even more specifically, the show that was highly influenced by an old manga series called Cat's Eye. Cat's Eye was a story of 3 sisters who were highly skilled in thievery. And from the looks of it, some people apparently just really thought it was an anime. Oh god, there's a poll for it too. Please, humanity, don't let me down. Yes! But still, that means almost 30% of the people who took this test either thought that Totally Spies was an anime or didn't even know. You know, if we asked everyone in the anime community, I really hope that those aren't the same numbers. But the fact that it's still available to be watched on anime stream sites tells me otherwise. Okay, I'm not even gonna take this one seriously. This one is on a League of Legends forum. Number 5, Powerpuff Girls. Okay, so this show went in a really weird direction in regards to inspiration. The show itself is American, and some claim that some of the fight scenes in Powerpuff Girls were heavily influenced or were almost completely ripped off from Dragon Ball Z fights. Well, if that were true, then that would probably explain the reasoning behind the anime-adapted series Powerpuff Girls Z. So it's kinda like Powerpuff Girls would have been inspired by anime to make an American show, to make another anime based off a show inspired by an American show that was already inspired by a Japanese anime. You know what? Whatever. I'm sorry. Anyways, the character design is similar to stereotypical chibi-styled girls from small bodies and big eyes, but the creator claims that the style was actually inspired by the art of Margaret Keane. You may have just recently found out about her from the recent Tim Burton movie, Big Eyes. Yeah, this show had some really weird inspiration roots all over the place. Number 6, Steven Universe. Because fandom. That's why. Alright guys, so Steven Universe is probably one of the most popular shows I've seen being mentioned in the anime community. I mean, even Anime News Network had to lay it down for us. I'll put a link to that in the description. I won't go into much depth with this one, but I'm just gonna sum it up with what makes the show remind people of anime in two different categories. Slice of life and magical girl, or in this case, boy. Number 7, Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra. Okay, you know this had to be on the list. This has quite a bit of controversy here and there. And there. And there too, and... shit. Alright, so this show is probably one, if not the most popular non-anime show in the anime and cosplay community. From the visuals, to the story, to the legacies embedded into this show, it's really hard to believe that this wouldn't have been inspired by anime. But if you've watched enough, you notice a lot of references that they make to a lot of different Asian cultures. This is one of those few shows that were assisted by anime companies themselves, so that's a huge factor on the discussion of whether or not the show actually passes as an actual anime. Avatar: The Last Airbender seriously embodies so many traits of classic and popular animes that I can't just help but wonder one simple question. What even defines as an anime anymore? How is it that we can look at these shows without knowing its background, and just assume that it's possibly an anime? Anime branches itself in so many different ways and has been so influential to stories that it has created an image for itself which puts shows like these at a very fine line. I mean, I remember watching these before I could even realize what anime was. And that's excluding the times of Generation 1 Pokemon and Sailor Moon. Yet these shows just have the same effect on me mentally as they do with any other anime. So what do you guys think? Do you think you have an answer for this? Any other shows you remember that reminded you of anime? Feel free to comment down below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet for more anime content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!